On today's That Park Place Daily Countdown, another activist investor joins the fight for the Walt Disney Company. Greta Gerwig gives a Chronicles of Narnia update. Universal has started auditioning performers for the new DreamWorks land. Moody's makes a little black rain cloud for the AMPTP. Wilton The Troll talks smack about Barbra Streisand. Sony tries to see how far away from Spider-Man they can get and still call it a Spider-Man movie. And Disney makes a new rule that's going to frustrate a very specific kind of Disney fan. All that on today's That Park Place. Well, it's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday here on That Park Place. I am Jonas J. Campbell, and with me, as always, is my co-pilot, Vash Sky. Vash, you doing all right?
I am doing just fine here on this amazing Friday, right? It's the end of the week. We can relax from the, I'm sure, amazing news week that we just experienced. So I'm feeling pretty good myself.
Yeah, it's been a crazy and tumultuous week here for the Walt Disney Company and also entertainment in general. But of course, to know more about that, we will need to go to our contributors across entertainment, streaming, theme parks, and video games for all the news that should be fun.
Number 1.
Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, and I'm here to tell you about another activist investor who has joined the fight for control of the Walt Disney Company. We're going to the Wall Street Journal. Activist ValueAct builds stake in Disney. This one by Robbie Whelan and Lauren Thomas. Walt Disney has attracted the interest of another activist investor that believes the company is undervalued, with ValueAct Capital accumulating a stake in the entertainment giant's stock and initiating dialogue with its board. Some of the items to note here: that it is a San Francisco firm, and according to sources, this is a sizable but so far undisclosed stake in Disney, and that makes it one of the fund's biggest holdings. That would be ValueAct's biggest holdings, according to people familiar with the matter. News of ValueAct's stake was earlier reported by CNBC, and Disney shares rose around 3.1% to $93.93 on Wednesday. I'd say that's good news for anybody that holds Disney stock right now. We've gone into greater detail over on the WDW Pro channel on Mason Morfit, who runs ValueAct, and maybe even some of the ties that he has to the current CFO of the Walt Disney Company. That would be Mr. Hugh Johnston, formerly of PepsiCo, and also a Microsoft board member. This story is ongoing, obviously, so drop a comment below if you've got anything you want us to focus on in our research. And of course, stay tuned at That Park Place as we dig deeper into Mason Morfit. You know, he's married to Jordana Brewster from the Fast and Furious movies.
Number 2.
Hello, this is John Trent, the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding Into Comics. Today I got an article, Netflix film boss Scott Super providing an update on Barbie director Greta Gerwig's The Chronicles of Narnia. Chronicles of Narnia projects were announced back in 2018. A press release stated Netflix will develop new series and film projects based on C.S. Lewis's beloved The Chronicles of Narnia series. Under the terms of a multi-year deal between Netflix and the C.S. Lewis Company, Netflix will develop classic stories from across the Narnia universe into series and films for its members worldwide. It was revealed during the Barbie promotional tour that Greta Gerwig was indeed working on at least 2 films based on C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia series. Gerwig gave an update on the films, telling Games Radar, "I haven't even really started wrapping my arms around it, but I'm properly scared of it, which feels like a good place to start." She then added, "I hope to make all different kinds of movies in the course of the time I get to make movies, which it's a long time, but it's also limited. I want to do big things and small things and everywhere in between, and having another big canvas is exciting and also daunting." Obviously, that canvas being The Chronicles of Narnia. During an interview with Variety's Cynthia Littleton, Stuber gave an update on the various Narnia projects they have been working on, and specifically the ones Gerwig is attached to. He said, "Gerwig grew up in a Christian background. The C.S. Lewis books are very much based in Christianity. It was just a great opportunity. I'm so thrilled that she's working on it with us, and I'm just thrilled to be in business with her, and she's just an incredible talent." Stuber was then asked what Gerwig's role is on the project, and he said, "Obviously the line, The Witch and the Wardrobe, is kind of the preeminent one, but there's such an interesting narrative form to the Narnia series if you read all of them." And so that's what she's working on now with producer Amy Pascal and Mark Gordon, and they're trying to figure out how they can break the whole arc of all of it.
Number 3.
Hello, this is Lorena of the Lorena Creole YouTube channel, keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. And speaking of keeping it real, Universal Orlando is holding auditions for their new DreamWorks land. Coming to us from WDW News Today, construction is underway for the new DreamWorks land at Universal Studios Florida, replacing Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone, and casting calls have been posted to recruit a variety of performers. The audition listings state that Universal Orlando Resort is looking for performers with the following skills roles for full-time, part-time, and seasonal positions for an all-new themed land featuring DreamWorks Animation's beloved animated characters. First one would be for voice actors, animated show performers, dancers, puppeteers. The casting call for singers reads, seeking singers strong in pop music style vocals with theatrical acting experience. Now, DreamWorks Land was officially announced on July 20th, 2023, and this immersive and interactive land will open in 2024. So, does hearing about these auditions that Universal Orlando is posting for DreamWorks Land, does it make you anticipate DreamWorks Land opening? Let us know in the comments.
Number 4.
With the actors' strike ending, it's time to unpack the significant financial implications recently forecasted by Moody's Investor Services. And this is, of course, concerning Hollywood's financially challenged studios and where exactly they are at this moment. According to their estimates, these agreements with actors, writers, and directors could cost up to $600 million annually. And this is about to get very messy indeed. Hi folks, it's CC here for That Park Place with a story today inspired by Jill Goldsmith over at Deadline. So it seems that this financial uptick, although substantial, at least to me, $600 million sounds like a lot of money, may not necessarily pose an immediate risk for the studios directly. Why? Well, the industry has been funneling over $100 billion to support this intense streaming war, and it's been setting like global records on spending. However, Moody's indicates that studios prioritizing sustained profitability may not adjust overall production budgets to accommodate these heightened costs. Instead, they may seek savings without compromising on volume or quality of content that they've been delivering their audiences. I think a lot of us would like them to up their game, but hey, whatever. It's dead certain that cuts have to be made. Logically, any potential reductions will focus on the use of less A-list talent and more soundstage shoots and far less location-based filming. Furthermore, these drastic cuts need to happen in post-production spending and special effects to balance the escalating costs because, well, they just keep going up. The realized necessity of intensified cost consciousness is already prompting studios to evaluate their greenlighting processes to achieve streaming profitability much faster. They're moving away from the scale at any cost mentality, and boy, do they really need to, because frankly, they're out of other people's money. We now understand the Moody's expectations, but what are ours? Will Hollywood key into far fewer productions going forward? I would suggest that they will. Will streaming be relegated to a lower priority as it should be? Probably. And will all of this force quality back into all of the film and television that we get to enjoy? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below.
Number 5.
Hello everyone, I'm Wilton The Troll from Flora from Under a Rock. Do you like Aerosmith? I don't. This article is from Deadline by Bruce Herring. One of Aerosmith's hit songs was inspired by Barbra Streisand, spending mommy-daddy time with James Brolin. Barbara, drawing even more unnecessary attention to who she lets on her private property when it's not appropriate, said in her memoir while being in bed with Daddy Thanos, he said, "I don't want to fall asleep." And she was thinking he was probably going to die soon because he was really old. With concern in her voice, she said, "Why?" And he said, like a lame teenager, "'Cause I'll miss you." And thus, it was immortalized in Aerosmith's song, "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing," which was used later in the smash hit Armageddon, where Bruce Willis died. And everyone cheered.
Number 6.
Hey everyone, John from City Park Rangers here again for That Park Place to talk about the Madam Web trailer. Sony's had the rights for Spider-Man for quite a while now, and the last few years have been interesting to say the least. Outside of the main MCU canon, they've done 2 Venom movies, a Morbius movie, and now the Madam Web movie, which comes out in February of 2024, with Kraven the Hunter set to arrive shortly after in August of 2024. When it comes to these films, it's very clear that Sony doesn't really know what their direction is or where they're headed with it, and I think it overall just convolutes the continuity. Not to mention that this trailer for this reviewer looks very much like a bad CW project, to say the least, but more accurately, I think at best it's something that should go straight to streaming. While it looks like the film has some interesting ideas to explore, overall these movies all have the same problem: no Spider-Man. But that's where I hand it off to you. What do you think about this trailer? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let us know down in the comments.
Number 7.
Vash Sky here with the next story, this time from Scott Gustin on Twitter. Disneyland Resort updated its website with official guidelines for pin trading in theme parks and officially banned the use of benches to display pins. Quote, benches or any other structures for the display of pins will not be permitted. Benches are for seating purposes only. And you can see a picture of this right here, as Scott Gustin has so wonderfully provided for us today. You can see those pesky pin traders at Disneyland. They do take up those benches. Pin trading has been part of the Disneyland experience for as long as I can remember. I believe about 20 years ago, George Kalogridis, a famous executive from Walt Disney World and from Disneyland's history, went to the Winter Olympics and discovered pin trading, brought that back to Disney, and well, the phenomenon is still with us today. So they have updated this. You can actually see the effects of this policy not being in place here. The pin traders over here taking up all the benches, and this poor family to the right forced to eat and collab without a bench. Unfortunately, folks, well, those pesky pin traders always skirting the rules, it seems, from Laura G here on Twitter. Disney also enforced as part of this policy that you can only have one pin trading book, and well, somebody snuck in an entire stroller full of them. So I guess Disney's gonna have to update its guidance even further to hopefully stymie this issue as well. Definitely comment below and tell us what you think. Are you gonna be taking advantage of a bench there at Disneyland now that the pin traders have been moved out and given their own tables, it looks like? Let us know in the comments below.
That's the end of another day here on That Park Place, but there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. Of course, like this video. If you like this video, consider sharing it out on social media if you know someone who might be interested in what we're talking about. And of course, subscribe to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.